Welcome to MBL's webinar, SMCR and Leadership for Senior Managers within FCA Authorised Firms, a bite-sized guide. I'm Robert Bell, owner of RB Compliance Consultancy, and I'll be taking you through the key practical aspects of leading a financial services firm in the UK. But just before we begin, a little bit about me and my background. I'm a law graduate, having spent nearly all of my career in financial services compliance in roles within firms, for a firm of solicitors as well, and a trade body. Since 2012, I've run RB Compliance Consultancy, which does all the typical services you would expect from a consultancy company, including policy creation, general compliance advice, auditing, and a lot of learning and development activity as well. I'm a published author with a book titled A Practical Guide to the FCA's Consumer Duty with Law Brief Publishing, and I've written guidance on behalf of Money Advice Trust. I'm constantly needing to stay on top of the latest compliance news and be able to communicate those rules clearly and concisely to the industry, and that essentially is what I'm going to be doing today, with today's webinar focused on the key aspects or requirements when leading a financial services firm. So let's take a quick look at the contents of today's webinar. Essentially, we've got two pillars to our content. Firstly, leadership skills, where we'll look at the functions of an effective leader, whether leading is the same as managing or not, and different styles of leadership. So we'll look at how we can understand the leadership styles and then how we can apply them. And then finally, on that first pillar, key attributes, skills and behaviours of successful leaders. And then the second pillar, we're going to look at FCA requirements, so training and competency requirements for leaders, and we'll focus on SMCR, the senior managers and certification regime, and where the leadership role falls within the regime, before we look at leadership practice and self-assessment at the end of the session. But we'll not necessarily do it in that order. So let's start by considering why leadership is important in FCA regulated firms. The regulators